Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George, so I apologize. I'm a little late. I missed the opening bell, but here you go. But today, of course, I want to talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and with a few specific people. What are they up to? Are they up to no good? Well, let's talk about it, and let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world of crypto and markets today. So smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified all my streams. Follow me on social media, check out CryptosRUs.com, and make sure you follow my other channels. So let's get started. Good morning, guys. Welcome. Like I said, apologize for being a little late today, but it's okay. We're here. And overall today, so far, about flat. I kind of anticipated this. I think leading up, today is Wednesday. So leading up to Friday, there's going to be a lot of hesitation. Not going to be a lot of movement, I don't think, because everyone's waiting for this one man, one of the people I put on a thumbnail, right? Jerome Powell. People are kind of waiting to see what he says. We had some tremendous weeks, a mini rally within the last few weeks, right? But now, this week, we have kind of calmed down, went down a little bit, and people are wondering, what is he going to say? Well, if he doesn't say anything bad, doesn't say anything unexpected, well, the market will continue to come back up, right? I think people are just afraid of what he might say. So that's why some people are antsy. And some people have turned bearish too, which I don't quite understand. But there's one. I mean, right now, if you look at Bitcoin, 21.5. So it's kind of sideways, but slowly going up, right? So it hasn't changed today versus last night when I was streaming. It was about this point. But, you know, some crypto outside of Bitcoin is going up. So that's good. What else is going on in the world today? Well, today's kind of like a light news day. I mean, if you see on the front page, if they put Peloton on the front page, you know it's a light news day. Peloton is putting their equipment on Amazon now. They're in a really desperate situation. They were flying during COVID lockdown. People couldn't go to the gym, so they were buying Pelotons. Now people want to get out. No one wants to ride their Peloton anymore, so they are quite desperate. So that's why they're doing this. I just saw this breaking news. Home prices fell for the first time in 3 years last month, and it was the biggest decline in 2021. Well, this kind of scares me because you guys know I just posted a video about me building my home. And, all this stuff about rising rates and prices falling and demand not being as high. Well, that's a little fearful. Me personally, but I do believe that right now the housing market rent is still way higher than pre-2020 levels. 2020, 2021 really just upset things in a major way, right? So even though home sales demand is down and rates are up, still nowhere closer to previous levels from pre-2020. So we're far off from a major crash or anything like that. So let's keep going. What else is going on today? Well, as for S&P 500, someone tweeted this, and this is interesting. This is an advanced decline line that I have not heard of before. But what's interesting about this is you could go back all the way to 2010, and every time S&P 500 made like this new high, right? You could see the periods marked in green. You could see every time this scenario has happened, this kind of like this new high, you could see what happens afterwards. Look at what happened in 2020, right after the COVID crash. Look at what happened in 2018 when there was a mini crash, and some of the period of times before. You tend to see a pretty good rally significantly afterwards. So this is pretty good. So can the S&P run for the remaining of this year? Well, as long as Powell doesn't surprise the market, at least I'm talking about the U.S., if Powell doesn't surprise the market and he continues to be somewhat dovish, not super hawkish, well, this could definitely continue and we could definitely see a good rally, the Christmas rally that some of us are waiting for. It's kind of shocking to realize that we are heading into September soon. We are in the final week of August, and we're heading to September, and soon we will be in November and December, and Christmas rally will be here. I'm looking forward to it. All right, what else is going on today? Well, the other guy that and I put on a thumbnail, Celsius is getting desperate. Right now I've covered enough about them, the whole situation of the bankruptcy, how much they're burning their cash, all that stuff is not good. But something else that I totally forgot about is one of their prior employees who founded KeyFi sued them because he said they were basically running a Ponzi scheme, that Alex had no clue what he was doing. And basically he was running the whole thing like a Ponzi. Like they lost a lot of ETH and then they had to trade. And basically, things were getting out of control, right? And the reason why he's suing is because he wasn't paid for it. Like, whatever is owed to him, he's not getting paid, so that's why he's suing. And then Celsius countersues, saying basically that guy stole a lot of funds from them, which is weird. And they claimed that he actually used Tornado Cash too to kind of hide some of his stolen crypto. I don't know if that's true. It seems it's kind of wild that they're pointing this out, that somehow he stole crypto. And even if he did, how come they didn't know about it before, right? Why is this coming out now? So the whole situation still not very good. And I don't know if Celsius could come out of this. So last reported they have enough cash until the end of this year. And that's it. I don't know what happens when you run out of cash and you can't pay the lawyers and continue fighting, right? I don't know what happens. But same thing is happening with ITrustCapital. So one of their biggest, one of the biggest creditor have won this court case in Singapore, so now they get to probe the assets that's still held by ITrustCapital, and they can put a claim on it. But one wonders how much is really left. It seems like they've lost everything. They borrowed so much from these other companies, and I don't know what's really left, right? So another thing. Here's the important thing to remember. That, yes, we had ITrustCapital's collapse, we had Terra's collapse, we had Celsius collapse, Voyager collapse, and every other, all these other lending company collapse, right? So the best way to look at this is all leverage, a lot of leverage that came out from 2021, right? And now we're kind of like weeding out the leverage. We're weeding out the bad companies that shouldn't be. The ones that had no risk management, no care in the world other than to just grow and grow and grow, but really didn't care a whole lot about anything else in terms of, what would happen if we go through a crypto winter? What would happen if there's a correction? What would happen if Terra collapse, right? These kind of things that business leaders should care about. A lot of them didn't. So now those companies are being weeded out. And despite the fact that we got brought down to 17K because of all these companies going under, right? Overall crypto space is still strong. That's the best way to look at it. We have weeded out the bad, and we are now ready to thrive and continue forward. So that's kind of how I see it. But of course, there may be others, maybe other collapses coming. So BendDAO is another project that is trying to save themselves, and they may have. So this is a lending project that lends out with NFTs deposited as collateral. And because NFTs have crashed, they were going to run out of ether because so many people have borrowed and no one is returning and paying back the loans. So they have some emergency change to the threshold of what's considered under collateral. So they're trying to save themselves right now. So we still have a little more weeding to go to get rid of all this greedy leverage that's in this space, right? So we'll get through it. But in the meantime, we might hear a little bit more about some of these companies struggling because of what's going on in the markets. All right. What else is there? I did mention this last night. This Friday, not only is Powell's speech very important, but also there's a huge options expiration, $1 billion worth, right? That's a whole lot. So another reason why Bitcoin may not be moving as much this week is because, these option traders, and then also let's not forget CME futures also expires on Friday. So there's a lot of traders that may be trying to manipulate the market or suppressing the market because they want to win. They want to make their money off their options or futures, right? So the last Friday of every month, we go through this, and the week, leading up to that tend to be less volatile, at least for the last few months. There has been months in the past where these option expiration weeks, we fly up. There's also been months in the past where we dump beforehand, right? But these days, pretty quiet. All right, what else is going on? Binance making a lot of headline news recently, just partnered up with MasterCard to come out with debit cards in Argentina. They're also now working with Philippines, with the country, and trying to help them come out with crypto regulations. So that's pretty positive. So they're making a lot of news recently. As for Bitcoin, still a lot of people trying to predict where it's going to go near term, not long term, near term. So here's one that's just measuring Bitcoin in this channel and how the RSI is coming up, although you guys can't see it because my camera is cutting it off, but it's okay. Basically just showing Bitcoin is still making higher lows, making higher highs. We're in this channel, right? Are we going to keep going? Quite possibly. Here's one. This is a moving average cross. So this actually is looking bad at first, but actually it's a bull thing. So this is looking like it wants to form a bear cross with the 50 and the 100. But here's the thing. The last few times that this happened, when you had like a bear or death cross, is when Bitcoin already found the bottom and then it was ready to recover. So a lot of times when you look at these death crosses, golden crosses, because they're such a long lagging indicator, by the time it happens, the market is ready to rally in the opposite direction. So we're at that point now where the 50 is about to cross under the 100. This is the weekly sale, so a weekly moving average. And you could see back in 2018 when Bitcoin fell down and we were stuck there for a long time, right? When it crossed, that's actually when Bitcoin started rallying afterwards, right? And it's kind of the same thing. You go back to 2014, 2015. When it crossed, Bitcoin was going sideways and then shortly afterwards went on a tremendous run. So this is one of those bearish indicators that is actually bullish. Interesting. Here's another one. This is measuring the MA ribbon. So again, looking like what happened in 2018. I just talked about this last night. I showed you guys in 2018, it took about 4 months of just staying steady at the bottom before recovery, right? So that usually is what happens. When you're at a bottom, you don't recover that quickly. You tend to stay there for a long time because there's a lot of people in disbelief. People just are refusing to buy, having their money on the sidelines because they think horrible things are still coming, so they don't buy. But that's usually when you form a bottom, a true bottom, and then you continue upwards. And that's kind of like where we are now, right? But there's a lot of course, models like this and indicators that show, yes, we are at bottom and a reversal is coming. Final few things. Coinbase hit with a lawsuit over allegedly poor security. I don't know. I don't know what this is all about, but Coinbase has been facing a lot of scrutiny recently with the SEC, with other things, with lawsuits like this too. Well, so I don't know if that's the case. I've been telling you guys though, regardless of what exchange you use, whether it's Coinbase or Binance or FTX or KuCoin or anyone else out there, right? It's never a bad time to take a little bit out, at least put in wallets that you control so that you don't have to worry about breaches or hacks or seizures or withdrawal halts or anything like that, right? This is the best time to be learning about how to safeguard your own crypto. You don't have to do it all at once, but it's very important. More important now than ever because of all the hacks and everything we've been seeing, right? Collapses and stuff like that. So just be careful. And then finally, just to give you guys an update, as for the Vasil Hardfork for Cardano, the percentage is now up to 49% in terms of the nodes, or not nodes, pools that have upgraded to 1.353, so close to 50%. And pretty soon, when it gets to 75%, the hard fork will be here. And we'll see what it really does for Cardano. It's supposed to improve efficiencies, make it a little faster, make it easier to program. Supposedly there's a lot of advantages to it. I don't think it's as big as an upgrade as Ethereum moving to Ethereum 2.0, but it could be seen that way. It's a huge, huge upgrade for Cardano, so we'll see what happens afterwards. All right. That is overall. Today, NASDAQ is up, S&P flat, Dow is basically flat. Yeah, everyone's worried about making moves right now. Everyone's worried ahead of this big speech by Powell, right? But like I said, a lot of the crypto besides Bitcoin is up slightly today, a little bit green. So overall, that's a good thing, right? Okay, let's do some Q&A. All right, I have mute on. All right, scrolling up, let's see. Cardano Summit 2022 on November 19th. Interesting. Where is it going to be at? I didn't hear about that. Let's see. Celsius is a hot mess. Lesson learned. Yes, I think a lot of people learned their lesson the hard way. Not a good lesson to learn, but yes. Is Gary Gensler's family allowed to trade the market? That's a good question. I don't know. There's that new law that's preventing Congress people from investing, but I don't know about like the head of the SEC. Last time I heard, Gary Gensler himself has over 100 million within this hedge fund that's trading for him. First of all, I don't know how he's that rich. Like, it seems like all these officials, elected officials, are somehow so goddamn rich. It's crazy. So I don't know if his family is trading, like Pelosi's husband. I don't know what's going on here. Zoom out and you'll see that we are a bottom. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I do think that 17K is the local bottom. When do you think, a lot of people have been talking about China's economy. So someone asked, do you think when China's economy collapses, they will cash their Bitcoin and cause a market crash? First of all, what makes you think China's economy is going to collapse? Do you think the U.S. government will allow U.S. economy to crash? So if not, why would you expect China's government to allow their economy to crash? I think it's I think if you believe that, you may be believing all the FUD that's being spread, right? But China's economy is not nearly as bad as I think what the reports are saying. And even so, let's just say, worst case scenario, even so, it's really, really, really bad, right? They have the same methods that we do, and even more so. They don't have nearly as much debt as the U.S., and they have an infinite money printer too, just like the U.S., where they could just print and print and print, and they could lower rates to increase liquidity, which is what they're doing right now, right? So are they going to allow their own economy to crash and burn? No, they're not, right? So I do hear a lot of people making, trying to make videos about how China is going to collapse and this and that. No, they're not. They're not going to collapse. They're far from that. How do I mine Ergo? That's a good question. I have never tried, but it is proof of work. It's one of the only new projects out there that is still using proof of work and not proof of stake. What are your thoughts on LeverFi? Never heard of it, Joshua. And that, I'm assuming it's some kind of DeFi play. 32 million, quite small. Invested by Arrington and Alameda Research, so they got some good backers. 10x leverage with yield farming assets. Well, I'm just gonna stop right there. Okay, I just got done talking about bad leverage, and there's people that's being liquidated every single day due to leverage. So my thoughts are no. Everyone should stay away from that project. George, why Sol continues downwards? Yeah, I mean, not really. No more than some of the competitors. No more than its peers. Sol got a lot of FUD recently. Because one of their wallet dApps was hacked, and people were fearful about Solana overall. So that's the reason why, right? So these hacks are happening left and right, and it happened with one of the dApps on top of Solana. So I think that made it a little bit weaker recently, but overall there's concerns about whether or not Solana is moving a little bit too quick and all these network outages, whether or not they can stop them, right? Peter Schiff called BTC below 10K. He's been calling the death of Bitcoin ever since he was introduced to it in 2011, right? Had he just bought a little bit, just a little bit, even like $1,000 worth back in 2011, he would probably be a billionaire. Just a little bit. He's missed his opportunity again and again and again, protecting his own interests, obviously, because he did own a bank, which was seized from him. And he's a big gold bug, right? So he's still kind of defending his position. But, you could basically just use his calls as a reversal indicator, opposite indicator, I guess. Thoughts on Polytrade? They partner with Polygon. I'm assuming they're a DeFi project. Haven't heard of them. Yeah, they're way too small. Under 2 million. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at that. They're just way too small, too early. Johnny, do you think GPU mining will ever hit its previous hype again? Oh. There will be another project. There will always be. I mean, when I first got started with mining in 2013, 2014, It was Litecoin. Litecoin was the fad. Everyone wanted to mine Litecoin, right? Then what did it move to? It moved to Ethereum, right? And eventually there could be something else that drives, GPU mining up again. I don't know what at this point. There's some other projects that are relatively popular, but we don't know who's going to be like really driving that space. Maybe it's Ethereum Classic. Who knows? Maybe in the next bull run is Ethereum Classic. All miners are mining that. But yeah, I think we'll see something else. I just don't know what yet. Can you earn interest from a cold wallet? Yes, you can. Like with Cardano. You could stake in a pool from your ledger and you're still in full control of it. And yes, you can earn interest. So there are ways of doing so. With mobile wallets, you could also do so, but they're not really considered cold wallets. They're hot wallets. But like from a trust wallet, you could also stake your BNB or Polygon, Cosmos. You could stake from within as well. Are you going to buy more ETH if it dips post-merge, or you go stake ETH? I hopes. These are questions that are irrelevant. Whatever I do doesn't mean that you should do, right? But I do hold on a lot of ETH, and I do think they're going to do great things going forward. I don't think anything's really going to stop their momentum at this point. Inner Dinosaur, welcome. People who lived at a time and had change to buy Bitcoin, 10 to 3,500 should have gone all in. Martin, that's always a thing, but no one at those moments ever are I don't know, bullish enough to do so. Let's just put it that way, or have enough conviction to do so. Right? Like I've lived through several of those times. 2018's crash to 3,000 and 2020's time to 3,800, right? I knew those were awesome times. And I streamed about it. I'm like, guys, don't be discouraged. Best time to buy is when things are low. That's how you make your money. That's how you build wealth. You buy low and sell high, Tell everyone that, but no one really believes it. Because you don't get confirmation until enough time has passed. Then you finally realize, okay, that was the bottom, right? It's kind of like what's going on right now. Everyone is still thinking we're going to have a double bottom. We have to go back down to 17K. There's a lot of people that think, oh, we'll go down to 10K or 12K, right? A lot of disbelief. Obviously, there's a lot of macro stuff people are worried about, but whenever you have a big correction or whenever you're at bottom, no one truly believes it at that time. But the best way to do it is just, whether it's bottom or not, when things are really low and dirt cheap, you DCA. Really, that's kind of the cheat code, so to speak. Traditional 401k or crypto like ITrust. Well, I have no 401k. I don't believe in retirement. I don't know. That may. It really depends, I guess, if you have investor mindset, or you're trying to play safe. Obviously, if you're closer to retirement age, I think you gotta downplay your risk and you gotta safeguard your retirement. But if you're younger, you could take more risks. You still have time, and plus, I just think having money sitting in 401k is not doing you much good when you could use it to invest in other things that can help you grow your portfolio much faster. Let's just put it that way. Is it positive to look at Kujira? They're making stablecoin, USK, and Cosmos Network, but this time with public marketplace to buy liquid collateral. I looked at them before. I don't know if stablecoin, having all these stablecoins, I'm not so sure that's actually a positive thing. And I'm not a fan of algorithmic stablecoins for obvious reasons because of UST's collapse. But I have looked at them before, not like crazy excited about them. Nothing really stands out, but as for Cosmos, it helps. It helps their growing DeFi ecosystem. Best Web3 projects you'd like. Everything is Web3, Orange Lambo. There's nothing in crypto that I wouldn't consider Web3. Web3 is just ultimately decentralization. That's really it. And everything in crypto is considered Web3. I think it's just a buzzword people like to throw around. Rather than to say crypto, they're like, yeah, it's Web3. It's really that what they're talking about is crypto and blockchain. I mean, honestly. So, Orange Lambo, you should kind of know. Right now, it's obviously Bitcoin and a lot of the big caps like Ethereum and like, a lot of the big ones I've been talking about, right? Mars asked about Atomic Wallet. I have heard of it. I myself have not used Atomic Wallet. I have heard other people say it's pretty good. For me, I like Trust Wallet. I have used Trust Wallet for a long time. It's really simple, really easy to use, pretty comprehensive in terms of the chains and tokens it supports. I really like the Trust Wallet. I haven't used Atomic. Another alternative is a Coinbase Wallet, which I have used, very similar to Coinbase Wallet. I mean, Trust Wallet. And you don't have to use Coinbase to use it. Coinbase Wallet is a non-custodial that you could use. So, do you think DAG could replace blockchain in the future? I don't think so. I don't think so. There are limitations to DAG as well, but DAG is just another form. I know it's not blockchain, so to speak, but it's just another form to have a ledger. And ultimately, they're all ledgers, so it's just a different way, I guess, to store information. Is it going to replace all blockchain? I don't think so. What color your Lambo be? If I was going to get a Lambo, probably like that lime green or orange or yellow or white. One of those colors. I would not get silver. I would not get black. And yeah, I probably wouldn't get red either. Or purple. Yeah. Yeah, Coinbase Wallet is really ERC20 based. I think they just added Solana, but they're not. They don't support a lot of the other chains that some of the other wallet makers do. Do I own stocks and real estate as well? Virtual asked. No, I don't. I take it back. I have very, very, very little stock. Very little. It just doesn't really excite me right now. The only stocks I really care about, like, I do think that if you want to hold something for a long time, right, you can't go wrong with Apple and Microsoft, really. But I like Microsoft even more than Apple. Those two you can't go wrong with. I think holding Tesla really will give you a lot of growth too. You can't go wrong with Tesla. And a lot of the Bitcoin exposure stocks like Coinbase or MicroStrategy, like if you were to go buy them, I think it's just better to buy Bitcoin because they flow basically with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does well, they do well. If Bitcoin does bad, they do bad. So you might as well just buy Bitcoin, right? So in terms of stocks, there's not many that I really care about. It's more crypto. And I don't own really any real estate. I'm in the process of building a new house. I created a video about that. So after I move into that, the house I'm currently in, I'll probably keep and maybe do a rental or Airbnb. So that I guess that'll be my first real estate property. I'll be interested to see how the Nets work out the issues next year. I have no idea. Kevin Durant is a mess. Kyrie's a mess. No idea what the Nets are going to do. Do I own land in the metaverse? I own a few plots in Yuga Labs' other side. I bought two NFTs, so I hold 2 lands. That's it. Nothing else. Yeah, you know, to be fair, they have gone down, but not nearly as much as I thought they would go down. So that's good. I'm waiting for their metaverse game to come out to see what these lands are actually used for. Real estate is huge liability, not an asset. Real estate is not cool. Money is. Nick, I don't know about that. You could definitely use real estate and turn it into an asset. As it appreciates, you could also rent it out for income. I don't know about real estate being a huge liability. If you're only buying real estate to live in, maybe you could consider that. But if you're buying real estate to make money off of, well, then it is an asset. Real estate is not liquid. Well, that is true. You know, selling real estate could be hard at times. But really, you can sell anything for the right price really quickly. But most people don't want to sell at the right price. They want to sell it for profit, which then makes things more difficult. Barn houses are getting popular in Michigan. I built a ranch home. Interesting. Jacob, thank you. I appreciate the support. It's a very exciting chapter in our lives, building that house. It's scary, obviously, but you know, I'm excited for it to get started, and we'll film the whole thing. I think it'll be a very interesting series. At least I do. I don't know about you guys, but you know, as it's being built, man, it's gonna be interesting to watch. But unfortunately, you know, where I live, there are winter months. And unfortunately, construction have to stop during those months, but I'm hoping they could build a decent amount before that happens. All right, guys. I think let's see. Let's update the market. Going into green a little bit. Bitcoin still holding. Overall market up slightly, 1.03 trillion. So, right now, obviously, market's kind of at a standstill, still waiting for Powell to see what he says. That's okay. That means we get to relax a little bit for this week. But, of course, there are still a lot of great things to come. So, don't be discouraged. Stay positive. Focus on the future, and we'll get through this together. And, of course, make sure you check out CryptosRUs.com or utilize the links in the description for all of your favorite news, articles, and guides, and exchanges, and deals, and everything. So make sure you check it out. All right? Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.